the Fantasy Golf Degenerates podcast, bringing you this week's Tour Championship. Some Ryder Cup picks from me and Kenny. Little Ryder Cup preview. And as always, this is brought to you by ProphetX. Use code FG Degenerates to get yourself 1.5% back over at ProphetX. We'll have a couple bets for you guys later in the show for the Ryder Cup. And as always, Keno, Kim, what's cooking on the other side of the screen there, my brother?
Byron, what's up, man? Pretty fun tournament. I guess. Scotty's inevitable. Fucking Thanos, motherfucker, out there doing his thing. But Bobby, tried, he faltered early, came back, stayed the ship, just couldn't get it done. And that chip on 17, probably one of the more seminal moments, at least visually, of Scotty's career. He's not like Tiger out there hitting these amazing shots to win. He's just so consistent. So, a chip in like that, it's sort of like his biggest, at least from a visual, from a TV watching standpoint, something that you'll remember for years. That was, one of his moments.
I went and looked at Tiger's chip in on 16 at the Masters. That took 16 seconds. Scotty's took 14 seconds. It would be cool if they were like the exact same to kind of run them next to each other. But you probably could do something cool like that still.
I saw back side-by-side pictures, and the logo was almost exactly the same, right? Yeah. Like the Nike logo for Tiger and then a Titleist logo for Scotty. Yeah. Before that putt took that last little trickle in, pretty amazing. And at that point in time, I thought Bob had a chance. Scotty on the back nine had a couple of little falters, a couple of three putts, a couple of missed shorties, stuff that he's done in the past, but sort of has eliminated from his game in the last 3-4 months, in the last 2 years, right? You thought Bob had a chance because I was going into Saturday. I was winning the $33 dog leg. I had and I put that line up in 4 different GPPs, and I was in 3rd and 6th in the other 2 GPPs, going in to total over 10 grand, 15 grand winning. And of course, that faltered. I finished in 20th place. I think I had all 3 of them finished inside the top 50, but instead of being up,
thousands,
15,000, I won 700 last week. Because my cash lineup was solid. The cornerstones did great. So it was a good way to end the cash year because I'm not playing cash in this shitty little 30-person tournament. Yeah,
we'll be doing the Tour Championship stuff at the end of the show. We're going to be chatting some BMW for the start here. Kenny, Bobby Mack, doesn't he just love to manufacture an enemy? When he's in the thick of it, he got into it with the drones in Canada. The sprinkler head was more of a sidekick than anything. It wasn't necessarily an enemy, but then got into it with that ban on the green on Saturday. He loves to just generate this manufactured heat that he wants to get involved with. And I love it. You were mentioning about the Ryder Cup stuff where people are chirping and it was intense. Scotty and Bob were playing awesome golf together and it was very Ryder Cup-y. That you heard guys cheering when they missed again. I love it.
When it comes down to it, the reason why I don't like Bobby Mack is because I think he's a whiny bitch sometimes.
It is.
He whined about the drone during this event. He whined about the fans. He missed a putt and then he looked back at the fans like they said something or did something or something.
He made the putt. The fans said he could.
No. I'm saying earlier in the tournament.
Oh,
now what he did then was pretty fucking cool, right? Stop being a whiny bitch and
show up.
Just nut up, make the putt, and tell him to shut the fuck up. I respected that 100%. I respected that. There was a lot of fun to watch, and I sort of got hyped, even though I'm not a big Bobby Mack fan. With the Ryder Cup coming up, I thought that was pretty fucking cool. I got to say. And, he did his thing. He's a hell of a player. There's no doubt he's going to be, someone to look at, in the top of the golf game. He's pretty fucking young, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's under 25.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got some time to grow. I think he's going to be a force. He's hitting the ball just a little bit longer, it seems like, off the tee. He's got a complete game. And I think he's going to be good for a while, which fucking sucks because, he's
29, Jenny.
Oh, is he?
29.
Oh, maybe he's not that young. He just seems like it's the face. It's the punchable young face.
Yeah, it's the massive facial hair.
Yeah, so maybe now, maybe he doesn't have that much time. Maybe he has to go out and really do his thing in the next couple of years. I thought he was 25.
Yeah, acts like he's 24. 23.
The thing is, like, he's like homesick and he's 29 years old.
Yeah.
Stop being a little bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? All right.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what his deal is, but you know what? He's balling out because think about like 2 years ago, heading into the Ryder Cup, Bobby Mack had that runner-up finish to Rory at the Genesis Scottish Open to pretty much secure him a spot on the Ryder Cup team as an auto pick. And he was like an anchor, like as in dragging in the sand type of anchor because no one wanted him on that team going into, he was just auto qualified. And then the next thing you notice, boom, undefeated, 2 points with Rosie. So we'll chat about that later. But I just wanted to mention Bobby Mack's 2 years has been incredible. Like he's going to be one of the backbone, like energizer bunnies in the locker room now.
He's going to be on that team. He's going to be a leader. He's going to take the mantle for the Roses and stuff like that. And the Rorys. He'll be on the team for a couple of years.
I would love him to be like the next Ian Poulter.
I guess he's more likable, I guess, overall, even though I don't fuck with him. It seems like people are strangely confused as to why I don't like him. A lot of people like him. And I just think he's a whiny little bitch sometimes.
He sure is, Kenny. Sure is. Harry Hall with a 6th place finish, still looking for a 5th top 5. Incredible stuff. Like solo 6th is what he got now.
But I mean, like, what's one place, man? I mean, the guy's been playing good golf.
We can chat about that later on too. Kenny, anything else about the BMW Championship? Mab McNeely, shout out, playing some good golf. Burns.
He was one of my cornerstones last week, and I did forget to mention that he was my Hustler Play of the Week. I just forgot. Somebody asked me on X, and I realized I forgot, and I told him it was Mav. So that was solid. He was one of my bets. I got the place on that. I got I had Oberg lined up with 3 places. He sort of fell apart, and then fucking Ben Griffin, he's a dog. Ben Griffin went out there and OD'd on creatine.
Yeah,
which
that's what Brian Griffin would do.
I didn't know that you could do that. Went out there, shot 7 over or 6 over on the first 2 holes on Sunday, and then ended up finishing under par. And finishing in 14th place. If he didn't OD on creatine and played the round that he was playing, he probably would have finished top 8 and gotten me a place also. But Scotty's inevitable. Pretty impressive stuff. All my bets this week are going to be without Scotty. Now, a couple good things. The one and done. The Mayo Cup is over. Next year, hopefully you get it bigger and sign up. Get on the Mayo Cup. It's the best one and done out there. So I finished in 124th place. Won $1,200 so that's solid. I'm also in the lead in the Slider Cup. Pretty good lead. 160 point lead after this past week in the Slider Cup, where I had Oberg and I forgot Kitayama. Oberg and Kitayama and so I think it was like 22 points, 26 points or something like that, multiplied by 6 for the Slider Cup. So I was getting in there. And the 2 guys that I'm using, I'm not going to say because, it is sort of matters. People in second want to go against me. They probably don't want to use the same players, right, that I'm using. But I got 2.
People want to pull a Tommy Fleetwood and just take
I got 2 big dogs left.
Yeah.
So let's just say I'm not that worried now. Can some crazy shit happen? Yes. But we'll see. I think I should get first in that one. I think I should play one and dones.
Dude, you are very good at them.
I think the funny thing is in the Slider Cup, I haven't won any week. Like, I don't think I picked the winner this year.
Okay, John Rahm.
Oh, yes. I'm basically John Rahming it.
You, John Rahm.
I'm basically John Rahming it over in the Slider Cup. I haven't won at all. Just consistent and a lot of made cuts in the Slider Cup League. In the Slider Cup, you pick American and international, right, each week. And it's not based on money. It's based on finishing position. So you want to get the least amount of points, right? Total for the year. And just like the golf PGA Tour, it has a regular season champion that pays out, and it also has the overall champion after the playoffs. The playoffs are multiplied by 4, 6, and 12. So it's multiplied by 12 this week. Fun little league that I'm in, So I've won in the Mayo Cup 4 or 5 years, like not won, but won money in the money 4 or 5. I was first in the regular season last year in the Slider Cup, finished 7th in the playoffs, which was still in the money because I didn't read the rules. Yeah, I should have read the rules. You know what I'm saying?
The rules came.
Oh man, so sometimes I don't read instructions. That's how we roll. Sometimes, and I didn't realize how important the playoffs were. I basically had scrubs left.
Yeah.
When it came down to the playoffs, I was fucking hanging on by the thumbnail.
And now you are good to go.
So now I know. And that's probably why I didn't win anything. I was saving like all my big dogs in the playoff. So I think I need to play more one and done. It's like my most profitable game to play.
That's good, dude. That's good. I just thought of a game of playing the 4 as well between you and me. Maybe get Mike involved.
It's a month away. Our golf trip is only a month away. We'll be doing a Ryder Cup, the official Ryder Cup show from Byron's basement. I don't know where you do your show at.
Jesus. Just on the side room in my house. But we're gonna redesign before you guys get here because it's also where Mike's gonna sleep.
Okay. So we'll be doing our show. We might Mike's coming. Producer Mike couldn't make it today, so we're doing this the producer list again. But Mike's gonna be on this golf trip. He'll maybe record some content on the course, see how we play. Because I know my golf game has improved so much that some people don't believe it. Right. I was shooting 20 strokes better, 20 strokes worth, 3 months ago. And so you'll get to see some of my game now. If I played like I did this past Saturday, it's not going to be pretty. I shot 88, but I reloaded at least 3 times. I'm probably closer to 95. But the swing just wasn't there. So we still have some work to do.
That's okay. It's okay. You'll be fine. We'll get it up. Who swings aren't problematic, Kenny, is the boys at the USM playing at Olympic. Dude, that setting, the fog, the guy said for the first 3 holes of his match, the rangefinder wasn't working because of the fog.
Yeah. Just that experience on Sunday, it really wasn't. The USM, I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. And I think it's because it's match play, and I think it's because it's match play that means something. Yeah. Right? These kids, it's a prestigious title. Right. And I think Pat said it on his preview show that really the only way match play works is if you're playing for something bigger than money. Right. It's something with honor and prestige. Right. So, and I think I have an idea of how to bring match play back into the fold. But let's talk about the U.S. Amateur first, because you're right. The drone shots from Olympic on that Sunday with, the marine layer, right, over everything. It was, and then the crowd. There was a lot of people there. But the cool thing about the U.S. Amateur is it's not that popular, right? Like you don't need grandstands. The courses don't need to set up for hundreds of thousands of people in a weekend, right? There's ropes and everyone's standing. There's no chairs, right? And the thing is, what's cool about it is from a gambling perspective, there's enough people where it still is interesting and it still can get hype, but you can literally walk to every hole, and watch the match and watch every hole. That's what these guys are doing. It's logistics are hard to do that at, say, a Ryder Cup with 60,000 people watching. Right? Trying to make it to every hole, because by the time you get to the next hole, it's already packed. You can't even see shit. Right? The USAM, they were just walking behind the fairway behind these guys. Right? Walking behind the fairway, on the fairway behind them. Following the group, a few thousand people.
One of the guys was holding his girlfriend's hands, like walking down the fairway.
One Scottish dude, I forget his name, right?
Niall Shields.
Something, right? This guy was losing in the back nine like every match he played. Losing in the back nine in every match he played, right? And just came out and it was Captain Comeback. It was sick. How many times he did that. And I guess he's a local guy from the Bay Area. So he had like his crew out there. And like he would hit like on 17 on the semis, I think, when he was playing against the eventual champion Bennett. He got to 17, made this 8-foot birdie putt to win the hole, right? And he was fucking pumped. And he's, all of his boys are just cheering on, and he's just walking with his boys to the next hole, right? He was walking, loving it with his fans. I mean, it was so much fun to watch that I really, really, really miss match play. I mean, that quarterfinals day where it was four matches. It was such good golf, right? It was such amazing golf. These guys are pulling out crazy, great shots, and they're also duck hooking. Right, you know what I'm saying? These guys are amateurs. They're not pros yet, right? You got to be under a certain index to be able to play in the USAM. And I found out that there's a US Senior Am, right? And so I was like, I thought it was at 50. So I'm 44. I thought I had like 6 years. I was like, let me think about it. All the old heads that, they're mostly professionals. I mean, it's got to be like club pros and shit like that. And then I looked, and it says your handicap, your index can't exceed plus 5.4. Not minus 5.4. Plus 5.4. I was like, no. I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm not going to be able to do it. I thought maybe it was like a bunch of scratch guys out there, right? You know what I'm saying? I was like, maybe I can get the scratch in 5 years, right? I mean, maybe I can get the scratch in 5 years. So I went out, played like I am and took a couple of lessons during the week or something like that. Maybe I can get to a scratch player. In 5 years, playing like 4 times a week, including practice, right? I think it's doable.
Yeah, it is.
But plus 5.4, I don't know.
Some people just cannot do
practice every day. Yeah, and so basically, I was like, I'm going to be playing against fucking these old Tiger Woods. Like, plus 5.4. What the fuck? Right? So, yeah, that notion was taken away. But kudos, high school senior won this event. I mean, pretty impressed. I think both the guys in the finals were teenagers. Now it was sort of disappointing because it's a 36-hole final, and the guy was like 7 up after 18. So it wasn't that exciting for the finals. And that's the problem with match play, right? But everything else about the event was incredible.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. And watching match play wouldn't mean something. The WGC doesn't fucking matter, right? I mean, like, that doesn't mean anything. So here's my solution on how we can get match play back into golf, professional golf. The USGA and the PGA Tour need to get together and create a match play major. Make it the 5th major, right? Elevate it, call it a major, right? Anytime you put the word major in golf, it instantaneously, you think, wow, those are important fucking tournaments, right? They're important fucking tournaments. You make this a major. The PGA Tour, okay, let's make it 128 people, right? You bring the USGA along, and to make it fun, you have 100 pro, like the US Open. You can qualify, right? You need to. So I think the top 100 spots goes to professional players, right? On the PGA Tour, stuff like that, DP World Tour, whatever. I don't know how they will make those rankings, but the top 100 players, right, get into this major, okay? And then 28 players, there's a 28 spots open for qualifying, right? So if you're a pro that's outside the top 100, or something like that, you can qualify. If you are plus 5.4 handicap, like I was talking about, but you're not a pro, you can go out there, try and qualify. And then, or you can do, I think that's the way it should be. I don't know if that should be match play. That should probably be stroke play. The qualifications should probably be stroke play, like a qualifier, like they do for the U.S. Open and the Open Championship, right? Those qualifiers, 28 of those get in, right? And those 28 players are ranked 101 to 128, okay? And then you do 1 versus 128, 2 versus single elimination, start on Wednesday, single elimination tournament, and you just go with that, right? Because, hopefully you don't get a boring final, 2 guys who aren't that popular, but it's a major, right? You attach that name, that moniker to the event, have a qualifier, work with the USGA to make it a big time event. I think that's the way to do it, because when it comes to money, no one cares. But you attach the name, you attach that major name to the event, it instantaneously will become something. They've done it in golf. They've done it in female golf. They've added a 5th major and stuff like that. And
how's it been received?
I watch the majors for LPGA. I know a lot of people don't, but I tune in for the majors in the LPGA. I'm a casual LPGA fan, and so I tune in to all 5 of the majors. It'll be on one of the TVs that I have during the week. And I think that if you make this a major, the casual fans will tune in just because of that name, just because of that moniker associated to the tournament. And then from then on, the new Grand Slam is that, and the new Olympic Slam is that plus a medal, right? You know what I'm saying? You got to make it prestigious. And the easiest way to do that is to make it a major.
I can see that. It's just like creating it, like force feeding.
Because we need a match play. Because here's the thing about match play. Just watching this, the USAM. I mean, you're not playing the course. Going mano a mano. It's me against you, motherfucker. This is what a lot of golfers do, like myself and my level, when we go out and play with our boys on the weekend. Right? We're gambling. Like, we're betting. Like, me versus you. Like, you're supposed to play the course, but if you're fucking up, I might club down. Right? It's a whole different atmosphere. And what is missing in stroke play golf is the hero shots in pro golf.
That you have to make.
Yeah, the hero shots. Like, you don't see those as often as you did in the past because of equipment and because of the skill level of golfers, right? Like, you don't see these hero shots. And, like, when it comes to stroke play, when you put yourself in a position, most people go with the safest route nowadays. That's just the smarter play.
Analytic play.
Chip out, eat it, make your bogey, at worst, right? Yeah. Don't bring double, don't bring triple into play, right? And so you're missing these hero shots. When the technology wasn't as good, right, and stuff like that, it was more, you had to play those shots more often, right? But now with so much control over wedges and stuff like that, and and drivers where you're not missing as wildly, and the courses, like a lot of the courses they play on the PGA Tour are just cupcake, TPC type shit where there's not a lot of imagination needed, and that's why the USAM is so cool, because it doesn't need the infrastructure that a tournament has. So you could play you could play Bandon. You could play, you could play really cool fucking courses for these match play. And I think that's the route that they should go on the PGA Tour also. But of course, they're going to have grandstands and stuff like that if they're going to make this a big event. But again, mano y mano, man versus me against you. It's so much fun to watch. The emotion or lack of emotion that a golfer portrays means so much more because it's directed not at the fans, it's directed at the opponent.
Yeah.
Right? It's directed at the opponent. And to use that emotion in golf where we don't see it that often anymore. Guys getting outside of the Ryder Cup and stuff like that. So like the emotion that the match play has and the hero shots, like when you have to win the hole, like when you could be more aggressive. A double or a triple is not going to kill you in one hole. So you're going to see more aggressiveness, more hero shots that will go down in history remembered. You know what I'm saying? Like Scotty's the best golfer in the world in the last 3 years, right? Outside of that chip that he had on 17 this past week, do you really remember any amazing shots by Scotty?
The chip on 3 on the 2022 Masters final round when he chips it in with Cam Smith, right there. But that was over so quickly, like it was chip, boom, in. It was going pretty quick, so I was over in 4 seconds. Scotty's chip took 14 seconds to go in the hole.
The whole time I thought it was going to be so short that he might 3-putt or he might 2-putt.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, he might bogey this. But the ball just kept fucking going. Yeah. It kept fucking going. It kept fucking going. And then it dropped it. It was pretty sick. Bias, recency bias, but that's been the biggest shot that I've seen. Most exciting shot, at least this year, by Scotty. But after watching USM, we need match play back.
I've got a match play situation for you.
Okay.
All right. So remember last week I said the playoffs need to be match play. All 3 legs. Let 50 guys get through. All right. So you give the guy, Scotty, who's number 1 in FedEx, you give him 5 points to start. Rory gets 4.9. Third place gets 4.8. And then the guy in last place in 50th gets 0 points. The guy in 49th gets 0.1. So this helps just create tiebreakers as you playing the matches. So you go 49 versus 50, 1 versus 2, 26 versus 25, like you do in a normal, you just go 1 versus 2, as you go down the ladder. And then you get your points. And then after that round, you get reseeded. And then you take on the guy that's closest to you in points, the reseeded points. And then after every round, you get reseeded and you can climb the ladder, be getting 1 point for a win. So then you can immediately in 4 matches, boom, you're up top there, or at least pretty close. And the guys at the top would be playing each other, like you'd get some good rivalries going, because how often do you see Scotty and Rory going up against each other all the time? We don't see that enough, so it would manufacture that. And then you just do that for 12 rounds, 3 tournaments. And then you keep going, because you never know whose points will be where. The final points rankings is what you earn at the end of those 3 weeks. So they'll still be playing for something. There won't be a lack of matches because everyone will be playing all the time. There'll be golf shots going on. Rivalries potentially could develop because you could play a guy multiple times. I don't know. I just thought
I don't hate it. I would love to see match play in the only issue is the playoffs don't have the prestige, right?
Yeah.
And in my opinion, match play really only garners attention outside of us degenerates when there's something big to play for. Which is the only one we see is the Ryder Cup right now. Like, the Ryder Cup has the best ratings outside of the Masters, right? People watch that because they know what the Ryder Cup means. They understand there's honor and prestige and you're playing for your country. Right. So that's why they tune in. People didn't tune in to the WGC because it was just money grab. And I don't think people will tune in to that match play because like the casuals, only the casuals will tune in, but no one's tuning in. Right? The casuals aren't tuning into this. I can't say that because I got some texts and stuff from my friends who are casuals who are watching.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Scotty changes the headlines, dude. Like there was Warren Sharp from the NFL was retweeting Scotty Scheffler chips.
LeBron.
Fuck. What the fuck's going on here?
Scotty's
just beating
people everywhere. It's obvious he doesn't want to be a superstar because he could be. And, you know, I don't know. The PGA really can't be happy about that, but, it's, you know, to each its own. Scotty wants to live his life the way he wants his life. You know, that's what he should do.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, if he wanted to, he could become, you know, the biggest superstar golf has seen since Tiger. But from a media perspective, from a casual perspective, from a golf perspective, he's been pretty close. He's on track. If he keeps going for a couple more years, we could talk a little bit when it comes to Tiger comparison. If he does this for another 2 more years, we can start talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably
Tiger's run was only 11 years, really.
Yeah,
Tiger's run was only 11 years, from a 98 to 2009, and then the whole shit show went down with his wife, you know, throwing the club in his back and injuries, and stuff like that. So if Scotty can get to 5 years of this type of play, we need to start talking more about him and Tiger being close, because again, the level of competition now is, I think, a lot better.
Everything's optimized, you know, and I think Scotty's closer to Tiger than Scotty is close to the next person who's behind him and Tiger.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, like, the difference between Scotty and the points that they have in the world OWGR, the difference between him and Rory, who's number 2, is the same as Rory and Taylor Moore, who's 115th.
Yeah.
Or some shit like that. I don't know exactly what Taylor Moore is.
So bad. That's
the difference between Tiger and Rory.
Yeah.
From 1 and 2, when it comes to OWGR points, it's the same as Rory up to Taylor Moore.
Nah. Bro, since the start of May, strokes gained rankings, Scotty number 1, Tommy number 2. Scotty's got 5 W's. Scotty and Tommy sitting there now.
Let's talk about changes to the FedEx Cup, because I don't think match play is going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think Rick Gaiman said it. I think you just reseed. Make it like football, right? Football is the king in the United States. Make it like the football. Make it like the NFL. Regular season champ, right? You give them a little bit of money like you're doing now. $10 million. You are the regular season champion, Scotty. And when you get to, and then here's like the NFL, I think the top 3 in the FedEx Cup playoffs, you should get a bye, quote unquote, a bye in the first round. Okay. Now here's the thing. If that happens and Scotty does what he thinks, Scotty will never play Memphis, right? You can't do that to the sponsors. You can't do that to the tournament. So what you have to do is you give them the option, the top 3. You can sit out, or you can just go ahead and play. But if you finish outside the top 50, okay, let me start this over. So after the FedEx, the top 70 make it, and I think after that it's just a regular tournament. No FedEx points. FedEx Cup points are only for the regular season. The top 70 to get in, you got to be in the top 50 to make it to BMW. And again, no points. Once the BMW starts, you got to get into the top 30 to make it to the Tour Championship. And so you could take a bye in that those first 3, those top 3 in the FedEx Cup. You can get a bye, but you're also allowed to play in the tournament. Okay. And then you do not count if you finish outside the top 50, don't matter. They don't matter. You're still into the following week, because I mean, it's a lot of money. Like, it's basically like a signature event. Like, some people will probably want to play, right? They don't want to pass up on that dough, right? Because each event carries a large purse. So you don't want to fuck the players either, right? Because out of millions of dollars. And then that's sort of like a punishment almost for some. I know Rory might want the rest and stuff like that. But, for some, that would be a punishment. So that's why you give them the option to play. All right. In the St. Jude. But if they finish outside the top 50, they're still in. So that means you have to finish. It says Scotty finishes 52nd. That means the top 49 get into the next week, the BMW. And then another thing that football has is home field advantage. Now, you can't do that in golf. But what I think they should do is, based upon your regular season FedEx Cup rankings, if you're number one in FedEx Cup rankings at the end of the season, you get to pick your Thursday and Friday tee times for all three events. And it goes down. Number one picks the first tee time. Number two picks the second tee time. Number three picks third for their specific tee times. Because at some point, there's going to be wave advantages, right? It doesn't happen every year, but there's going to be a tournament where you can have a wave advantage. And I know it doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but home field advantage in the NFL is not that big of a deal. We saw it last year with the Lions and the Commanders, right? Going out there, So I think, at that point in time, give the best in FedEx the option to pick their tee times. Now, what this does is, it's a lot of money in these FedEx Cup. They're going to really pay attention to the weather, right? And what this can lead to is similar tee times for the best guys, right? Because they're all going to see tee times that they want to pick. And everyone's probably going to be close to the same thing, right? For each event. So what that does is it makes, you'll see a lot of the top players each week playing with each other, right? When it comes to the three playoff events. I think Rick made a good point. I think that's the way it should be. I think we should copy football, and then make it a true playoff. And I think that, give the bye week, get the picking of the tee times as like their minor reward, basically, and then go through and do it like that. Because I think it's going to be fun this week to see Tommy Fleetwood win a 30-man event and be the FedEx Cup champion with never winning a PGA Tour event in his career over 30 men in the field. And it's going to happen. I already bet him. I could see it fucking I could see it fucking happening, and just the chaos that it's going to fucking happen. But the thing is, we've seen it doesn't happen that often. In the NBA, I guess, it happens a little bit more often, but we've seen like lower seeded teams go and, make it far. And it would just be fun to see, something like if Sungjae went out and won, you'd be like, what the fuck? He had his worst year ever. Like, last in approach.
You're needing it around the game.
He's a FedEx Cup champion. The only issue with this is, of course, the signature events give these guys an advantage. Something has to be done in that. Maybe not. Maybe that's how you keep the top guys in the playoffs, and that's what the PGA Tour wants. It's not what we want. We want to see merit based,
Is he not people falling out of that top 50?
Yeah.
It was fun trying to watch Ricky and Michael Kim. Because you see Akshay crumble down the back nine.
Man. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's pressure.
That's pressure.
If you get into the Tour Championship, it's 2-year exemption. You get into every major except the U.S. Open. You get every signature event next year. It's huge, right? Top 50 is good because you get into SIG events, right? But top 30 is you're locked next year.
Yeah.
Locked.
And by the way,
your exemption.
We were saying someone John Rahmed it. You John Rahmed it. John Rahm, for those of you that didn't catch that joke, just won the season-long points race on LIV without winning a single tournament. Walker Neiman won 5 tournaments and finished behind Rahm.
Yeah,
how does it happen?
Then you got guys like Ricky, who got 68% of his FedEx Cup points from signature events, from sponsors exemptions, right? And then he almost makes it onto the Tour Championship. So, it's hard to judge, make something perfect when it comes to that.
It is hard, but you just can't have FedEx Cup points in the SIG events if your sponsor's invitation. Simple as that. It will just stop people.
Kudos to Ricky for doing it. Right? I'm not talking shit about Ricky. Kudos to Ricky. He got the help and he made it worth his while almost making it to Eastlake. But I don't care. I don't mind 1 or 2 sponsors exemptions.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't mind it. Because these guys are who people want to see play, and the sponsors are an important part of the whole dynamic of the PGA Tour. So for them to have a couple of guys that they can bring out, I got no problem with that.
But Kenny, the point is, they're bringing them to the star-studded fields at Pebble Beach, at the Memorial, with everyone that's very good. All the Scotties, all the Rorys are already there. People are going to watch those dudes anyway. They're not going to... If you're adding Ricky Fowler to a signature field event, what percentage of the fan attendance will grow? Like, how many people that weren't going will now go because of Ricky?
I get it.
Okay. If you take that and make it the Cognizant, because he has to play the Cognizant, I would say the amount of people that come versus the amount of people that weren't going to come because of Ricky it's significantly more, because he is a bigger orange drop in a much smaller bucket when he's in those non-signature event fields. Same with Speed. That's what the signature event invitations is causing a problem for. They're keeping the good guys out of the normally field events where they can really have their star power emphasized. Anyway, what do you want to chat about next, Kenny?
I don't remember. What you got again? Ryder Cup. It's Ryder Cup time.
All right. So I've been thinking about trying to also be better co-host and just explain a couple things to you guys. The Ryder Cup happens every 2 years. It kind of happens on 2 different venues. It happens in USA or it happens somewhere in Europe. It alternates there. So only every 4 years does it happen in the United States, every 4 years in Europe. That's how it goes. USA hasn't won a Ryder Cup in Europe forever, since 1993, I think. So it was a long, long time. The Euros have won on US soil. So be playing on US soil
4 times.
Yeah, quite a few times lately. And Luke Donald was the captain of the Euro team in Rome, and he has been given the role again. That doesn't happen often. Got 2 very interesting captain situations, Kenny. We've got Luke double captaining it. He's going back to back again. And Keegan playing potentially, or will be the captain. We'll see. So we can chat about that as we go forward. But they play singles, they play 4-ball, they play foursome. And when you see 4-ball, there are 4 balls in play. When you see foursome, only sometimes does a golfer hit the shot. So that's kind of how do you remember the different formats. So you're going to be needing different players to make these teams, because there's a best ball format that you want volatile guys maybe, and then there's foursomes that you need safe, well-rounded individuals. So Kenny, we did our rankings. We graded our golfers in confidence, how they're going to make the team rankings and what we believe they are. Where we would, if we made our own team, that's the rankings we would give our guys. So you want to start with your guys?
Sure.
All right.
Just bring it up. If you guys are on the podcast, we're listening on podcast, I'll try and make it easier for you. Oh, there we go. Can you enlarge it?
I can. There we go. Let's do this.
All right. So for the Euros, let's go ahead and start with the Euros. Rory's going to make the team. There's no doubt. Tommy's going to make the team. No doubt. Justin Rose is going to make the team. No doubt. All these guys I have confidence in to make the team, and I think they should play well. Is that what the confidence rank means? Can it
how
to
play? They are making it. It's a 10 out of 10. They locked in. You auto qualify.
Okay, and then the confidence rank is how I think they're going to play.
No, do you think he should be on the team?
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So Rory, Tommy, Rose, Rob, Hovland, Bobby Mack, Sepp, Oberg. Those are locks, and Hatton are locks of locks.
Yeah.
I think Fitzy is a lock of lock as well. Now, I do also think that Lowry is a lock to make the team. I have the confidence to make the team but like if I had my choice, he's not playing great at the moment, sort of like Colin Morikawa. So my confidence rank, I think he's going to make the team. So again, my confidence rank for him is around the 6, but that's where I think he's how he's playing is for that one. How he's playing is a 6. So that's 11 guys right there that I think are locked on the team. The 12th guy's tough because the 3 guys that I think that have a chance are Rasmus Højgaard, Marco Penge, and Harry Hall. I think those 3 are the ones that actually have a shot to get that. Now, Rasmus, second last week, across the pond. I think he is the leader in the clubhouse to make the team right now because he's like 1 out of an automatic bid. And they still have one tournament to play. They're playing this week. I think it's the Betfred Masters. I don't know. Yeah. But they're playing an event this week, and he's playing in it. He could play himself into the team this week. That's why I'm giving him. That's why the Betfred. Yeah, that's why I'm giving him an 8 confidence because he's playing well. I think if he plays well this week, I don't know what the other guys aren't really playing in front of him, right? So they're not going to gain any points for when it comes to the top 6, when it comes to the actual Ryder Cup standings. So I have Rasmus as an 8 to make the team confidence, and myself the confidence in him to make the team as an 8 as well. And playing wise, the way he's playing is the confidence that I have in him in making team is an 8. Now when it comes to Penge, he won last week. I think he's been, what?
Yeah, I know. That's crazy.
Won last week. He's still, I think, not in the top 10 when it comes to the automatic qualifier. I think he would need to win this past week, and I don't even know if that gets him into an automatic berth. I'm not 100% sure about that. Byron's bringing up some type of screen. Will it show, like, if he wins, where he'll move up to?
No, but he is in 14th in Ryder Cup points, and it's Dietrich, Fitzpatrick, Wallace, Hovland, Oberg, all in front of him. So,
yeah, I don't think anyone in front of him, though, is playing next week.
Right.
Except Højgaard. So he can move up to maybe that 6th spot. I don't know. I know Højgaard can. But Marco, I'm not 100% sure. But if he wins back-to-back, you figure he's in the team.
Oh, dude. I mean, so I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I figure. And there's still one more event in 2 weeks before the Euros pick their team. So I think there's 2 more events for them to pick their team. I think. I don't know if it's this week or if it's in 2 weeks. I'm not 100% sure. But then, of course, Harry Hall, and I like Harry Hall. I think based upon the play that he's had, he's definitely in the conversation. Now, the issue is when it comes to these Euros, you see sort of less of it now. But the backbone of a lot of these European teams back in the day was these random DP World Tour guys, right? You'd have like some random DP World Tour guy go out there and go 2-1-1. Right, for the week. And you're like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Right. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like that's been sort of like a fixture. Now you won't see that as much now, since the DP World Tour has just basically become a feeder tour for the PGA. But to have guys like Penge and Rasmus, and Rasmus played on the PGA Tour this year too. But like to get these guys who play predominantly on the Euro Tour, I think having one of those type of guys is good for the European Tour. I think it's good for the Ryder Cup. So I think, I don't know. It's going to be close between Rasmus and Marco. And if Harry can do something crazy at the Tour Championship, he's in the mix But it's gonna. I think it's coming down to these three guys. I think at this point in time, you got to give Rasmus his due for being the highest ranked, being 8th in the European Ryder Cup rankings, and playing well at the end of the year. I think he's the one that should get in as of today. We'll see what happens after next week.
Interesting, Kenny. I think Højgaard makes it as well, but I think it's Nikolai. I think there won't be a Euro rookie this year. There won't be a rookie market for the Europeans. The rookie market for the USA team is going to be the entire rookie market because they're just going to roll back all 12 guys. I think it's taken Rasmus too long to get inside the points that he needs to be in there.
Dude, he was inside the top 6 until a month ago.
Rasmus?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think, like, if you think about what Nikolai did at the Masters, like what he did crazy, like bogey, birdie, bogey, I think he's just a full ball guy. I can't actually remember. By the way, I've got a sick tool for you guys that if you join the Model Maniac Discord, you can use. You can use like all sorts of, you can see everything that these guys have done in the Ryder Cups over the last little while. So Rasmus played just 4 balls. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can definitely see them just throwing him out there again, just in the 4-ball format. What do you think, Kenny? I just think they roll it back. They definitely.
I mean, maybe he's good for the course, but the guy's hasn't been playing well.
Yeah, but he's so good in this kind of format. I don't know. I think they roll it back with them. I really don't have any other take different to you. This is how I graded these guys. Shane Lowry's going to make it. I would not put him on the team if I were myself. I think I would legit take Harry Hall over Shane Lowry right now.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I mean, Shane's playing like shit.
Playing like total shit, dude.
He's playing like shit. I don't hate that take. He's going to make the team because of his name value, right?
Yeah.
He's going to make the team, and he's a part of the boys' club. He's going to make the team. But, yeah, I mean, Morikawa is sort of in the same boat with me, though he showed some stuff this past week, at least for the first few days, with his ball striking.
What? Kenny, Colin, let's chat about it. Okay, Can I share my USA team? Can I share my USA team with you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
By the way, I also broke down the course so you can see, because I like to figure out what's going on with the distributions on approaches and things like that. Because some Rome had 3 par 3s on the odd holes and 1 par 3 on the even, so you can hide guys that are bad drivers, kind of emphasize how good iron players will play, and you can keep the driver putter guys doing their thing. So I have this over here. I'll be like kind of breaking down which the best pairings could be. There's not that big of a difference in the different tee times. You're going to hit 7 drivers and 9 approaches regardless of which tee you go off of. So it might be a little more nuanced, not nearly as significant as the Rome situation. Just thought I'd mention that. Fun little nerdy breakdown there. I've got Shane Lowry not making this team, Kenny, but we've spoken about that already. Let's go to some USA for me. Here's my USA squad, broken down by my confidence in them, and then I've got on the left-hand side here my confidence of them making the team. This team is a lot more open than the Euro team for sure. There's basically that one spot. For the Euros, I think the USA could have 3 or 4 different, we could have 3 surprises, in all honesty, or Keegan could just go with the points. But I have Keegan not making it and Colin not making it. I would kick those 2 dudes out of the squad, and then I'd go with the duo of Cameron Young, Maverick McNeely, and Stan Burns as the 3 guys that, are like on the bubble. I would take each one of them over Colin, and I'd take each one of them over Keegan in the captain's role.
Okay, here's the thing about Morikawa. Last 4 out of his last 5 recorded strokes gained events. Gained 5.3 with his approaches, 5.8 with his approaches, 7.4 with his approaches, 11.5 with his approaches. You put him in alternate shot, the guy's still one of the best out there. right? You don't have to drive the ball. You have him do the 9 holes where he hits the approach.
And but you can't because it's even. I just showed you now. There's no advantage.
I thought it was 9-7 is what it said.
Yeah, it's 7 drive, which is half of 14, and it's 9 approach shots, which is half of 18.
Yeah, okay. Well, still.
It's exactly the
9 approaches, that's fine. He's still one of the best approach players out there. I think you could put him on there. Like, the thing is, like, I like your team right here. I think I would put Colin. I don't know. You're right. I mean, those guys look like they're better.
They are.
Yeah.
They are better. And dude,
I think Mav needs a big week this week. I think Colin's going to make it. And I think it's not that silly of a play, at least beforehand. Hindsight's 2020. We'll see how he does out there. But the guy has been the best iron player on the PGA Tour in the last 6 weeks.
He's had one top
best
10
iron player on the PGA Tour.
Like had one top 10 since the
this is match play. I don't care about finishes and stuff like that. You have to have something that you have to be able to bring something to the team, right? When it comes to these match play events, and his iron game is elite. And so he can go out there. I mean, like, you see guys like Ian Poulter who fucking sucked ass, when it comes to the entire regular season, regular stroke play, and they go out there in a fucking Ryder Cup and dominate, right? I mean, like, I'm not saying Morikawa is that type of player, but I don't really take into account finishes and stuff like that, especially when you're getting into, how these guys are, especially guys like a Kong. Okay, if you're like normally on the bubble, like if you're a Penge or you're a Højgaard or you're Harry Hall, yes, finishes are important because that's what you're going to need, but you need to bring something else to the team too. You need to be, if you're going to Bethpage Black, really good off the tee, or, exceptionally good iron player, or a great putter to fill out that last spot. And that's basically what Colin is. He's a last spot guy, one of the last spot guys, right? That's what he truly is on this team. 10, 11, 12. That's what he is. And you want people there that can specialize in a specific area, who can help you, right? And when it comes to the iron game, you put him out there, he's still elite.
Fine. I just want to also mention, like, his Ryder Cup record. He's got 4.5 points in 8 matches.
It's not hard.
Three of those points came with Dustin Johnson on his team. Okay, like, DJ was 12-9 in his career in Ryder Cups. Like, and I was at Westing Straight.
DJ was 7-9 before the last time he played the Ryder Cup.
True.
He won 5-0. So he was a losing record.
Yeah.
When he came in with Morikawa.
Yeah.
In the Ryder Cup.
Okay, fine. But what I'm saying is, like, he was fucking amazing.
He played.
He was the reason they won most of those matches.
Yes.
And then the other match was, remember that Sam Burns versus Victor Hovland Ludwig? Again, Colin was just watching Sam Burns just go nuts. Like,
that's what you want. Sam putt. So that's what you want, right? You want Morikawa to get Sam Burns into a position where he can make a shit ton of birdies. And that's what he'll do.
Okay. Sure. I understand that he's got that old man pedigree as well. He's been now in 2 Ryder Cups. By the way, this
don't care about that because he's the last guy in.
But it does help. That
the he can bring to the team that will make the team better. And he does with his iron play.
All right. Cameron Young, Kenny, you could not ask for a better partner to pair up with Bryson DeChambeau. Think about, like, who are you pairing Bryson DeChambeau with in
alternate shot or 4-ball?
In alternate shot. Think about what Bryson's quite bad at. The wedges, right? That he puts himself in that range all the time. Freaking Cam Young's best trait is the wedge play. And they both hit the ball the same distance. They hit the same ball speed, kind of. Like, no one else on this team can get close to what Bryson does in ball speed, which is hard. So, And by the way, they played the same ball before Cam Young changed the prototype that he won with at the window, which I think Bryson may be interested in playing with at some point, because if it helps Cam,
making his own ball.
I know, but until the ball gets approved in the Lamb, he's got himself a chance to try and test this thing out, which Cam plays. So I think Cam Young off the tee and with the putter, Kenny, that's a cheat code around Bethpage, man. In match play, that's just insanely impressive. And I think, if you played Colin Morikawa over Sam Burns, I wouldn't be mad at you, but I want Mav and Young in there instead. I think they definitely got a chance. So we'll see, but let's get to your guys. USA.
Yeah, I mean, mine's basically the same as yours, except no Mav. I have Colin in there. Other than Mav. And I think Mav has a chance. I didn't fill it out all the way, I guess. I didn't see Mav. Oh, yeah, Mav is in there. Actually, I have Mav in. No, confidence level. I have him as a 2. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so that's the only difference that I have. I think, and I think Sam Burns makes the team as well. Burns and this is tough. I mean, like, you're right. There's a lot more options when it comes down to it. I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have Colin as a 12th guy, correct?
Yeah, these are the 12, right? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, Cantley's going to make the team. He's playing fine. Again, he brings stuff. Maybe not as much as elite as Morikawa, but he's ball striking wise, a little bit longer off the tee. He can still hit good irons well. I think did exceptionally was a big part of the win of not the win, but the lone bright spot in the previous Ryder Cup. I think you just got to give him that. So I think he's in. Cameron Young, like you said, fits the course. He's in. So it comes down to Morikawa, Burns, Mav, Keegan, I think, for the last 2 spots, in my opinion. And I think Morikawa gets in for what I said. I think he's going to go ahead and get in there because, again, like you're right, he's not finishing well. He's not great, but he brings the best iron play, one of the best iron players out there, and that's still the case, right? And an alternate shot, I think that would be a very, very good thing to have. Maybe you don't play him in the 4 balls, but you play him in the alternate shot, and you give him that, let him out there and make him make those nice iron shots for a good putter that he could play with, maybe a Henley or something like that. I don't know. Actually, Henley's a shitty putter, but like a good putter to go out there with. Burns, I think, is playing himself in. He's in the last few months, he's been playing pretty damn good golf. Played well this past week at the BMW. If he does that again, I think he's on. I think he's on. I think Keegan is not going to pick himself. I think so. He just has not been playing well enough. And it's going to be too much. Now, the competitive nature of Keegan Bradley after Rory said what he said this past week. If you weren't paying attention, Rory said that he doesn't think a player captain is able to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible. I don't know if that was mind games, because maybe he wants Keegan to be on it, because it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult for Keegan. But Keegan's super competitive.
Oh, yeah. He likes to be that.
So that sort of made me think it's a little bit more likely he picks himself after Roy. But I think after thinking about it logically, he's not playing well enough. And again, like I said last week, this can tarnish his legacy. If, like Zach Johnson, people don't remember him as a 2-time major anymore. Major winner. Anyway,
yeah, but Russell, Ryder Cup captain.
They think he's a shitty Ryder Cup captain. That can happen, right? That can fucking happen. And it would be worse if Keegan goes out there, they lose at home, and he has a shitty week. It'll be hugely detrimental, I think, to his career and to his legacy. And I think he knows that. And I think he's not playing well enough for the issue to deal with that issue. Like if he was out here playing 2 months ago and won the Travelers and was playing in that form with a bunch of top tens and a win right now, it wouldn't be as bad if they lose, because you look at his record going in and you can fall back upon that and, talk about how he hadn't made the team in a while where he probably should have, it would make it easier. Right. In a legacy point of view, if he lost. Right. But the amount of work that he has to do and all that stuff, I think it's too much, especially for the way that he's playing right now.
Kenny, I think that he took his foot off the gas the moment he won, because I think he decided that he's going to play himself. I think that's, in all honesty, what's happened.
You think he decided what?
Like the moment he won the Travelers, his game has gone off the boil. I think he would have kept his game super sharp if he was still trying to make the team.
Yes.
I think he decides that he's now made the team. He won the Travelers. He's in on points. That's an easy way to validate that he's on the team. And the last time he was on the team was 2014. It's over a decade ago. That's 11 years ago. Like, man, that's insane to think about. So I don't know what he's going to get up to as a playing captain. I think he's going to do it, and it's going to cause some problems. I'm really starting to lean towards Europe side of things. I think Luke's a better captain than Keegan anyway, and he knows what his role is. Keegan doesn't know. He's doing it for the first time. Like, I don't know. But he did mention something interesting, Kenny, was he's reached out to a lot of coaches for super teams or like Olympic teams, hockey teams, whatever, like that have these superstars come together from everywhere for a short period of time to go perform at the Olympics or a World Cup. And he's reached out to all of these kind of coaches to figure out what they do. He's definitely bringing, like, I'd be so ramped up if I heard that as him saying that as the captain. But now that, like, he's the playing captain, man, it's just like, it gives me this, like, tentativeness. I just think it's going to be a disaster.
I think if he wins this, if we win in a decisive nature, I think you could pull a Luke Donald and have him come back, because we really need to win on the road.
That's exactly.
We really need to win on the road. And if he does this correctly, which I think he's going to do everything in his power too. He's smart, he's not in the boys club, right? So he doesn't mind hurting feelings, right? I think he's going to do what's best for the team. He's going to line everything up correctly. He's going to take the advice that he needs, and I think he's going to do well. I think the Americans win. I think they win decisively. I know a lot of people aren't thinking that, but I think the Americans win decisively here, and he gets the nod in Spain. Is that where the next one is?
Is it Ireland?
Maybe it's Ireland. I don't know. Wherever the next Ryder Cup is on the road, you bring him back. I am worried about Luke Donald. Luke Donald's a great captain. I think he knows what he's doing as well. It's going to be worrisome, but I just got the course. I think the setup, again, it's set up. A lot of these guys hit farther. It's just so hard to win on the road.
Yeah, it is. Adera, Ireland.
I think the U.S. takes it.
Yeah, I mean, that's, if you take a look at the stats, the home advantage is insane. It's just so crazy how that works out. And I was also taking a look at foursomes versus four ball since 2008, I think, when I had. Yeah,
our four ball record in the United States is pretty good, right? Foursomes.
Yeah, top. Yeah, so that is going to be important, to get to make sure that Americans, we like single-minded. We have a lot of teams, but they belong to cities. It's not a lot of American teams, and I think that can win the Ryder Cup is foursomes for the Americans, and then the Euros need just to dominate in the four ball part, like where it's kind of more chaotic, I guess, where you can't have as big a strategic edge. I think, the alternate shot is like where it really, you can eliminate some weaknesses big time.
I think what we've seen in a couple of Ryder Cups recently here is the first day is really important. Ryder Cup and President's Cups. Like you can't go down big.
No.
And that sort of happened. We saw it at we saw the President's Cup last year. I think when it was in the last Ryder Cup in Europe, I think that's what happened too. You really got to bear down that first day and keep it, tight, or the Americans take a big lead. That's going to be the most important part.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Does Scotty Scheffler play 5 matches, Kenny?
Yeah.
Who do you think plays 5 matches on the US team?
Scotty, definitely. I really haven't thought about it. I need to see the exact team. I need to see pairings, possible pairings, and stuff like that. And we'll, of course, talk about that during our official Ryder Cup show here in a month.
Awesome sauce. Let's get to the Tour Championship. We're going to wrap up the show here with some Tour Championship. Kenny, give us the lowdown, bro, down on Eastlake.
All right. So the PGA Tour final event of the PGA season is upon us, or of the regular season, of not non-fall event. The main part that matters is just about over. Top 30 golfers in the FedEx Point list head to Eastlake Club in Atlanta for the Tour Championship. I like the fact that they're thinking about changing it, going on a rotation. I think that's smart.
Look how much fun the BMW's been.
Yeah, I think that's definitely smart, but it's still here. It's in Eastlake. The 30-man and no-cut event, of course, strategy for DFS purposes is very different than a normal week. Personally, I'm going to be playing in no cash due to the fact that missing out on one high-owned golfer that does well. Say Scotty's 75% owned in cash or whatever, right? He probably won't be because he's so expensive, but let's say he's 50, 60, 70% owned, or somebody else lower who's going to be popular is that highly owned. If you don't have him, right, you're done because there's no cut and there's only 30 golfers. It's extremely hard. So just missing out on that one mistake will cost you cash. Now you can make one mistake in cash in a normal event, you could still win, right? So no cash for me. Now ownership's going to be inflated due to the smaller field, and so you're going to see that in GPPs and cash. When it comes to GPPs, strategy is going to be different. In huge GPPs, it's going to be very difficult to get a unique lineup, right? There's only 30 golfers. It's going to be tough. Everyone gravitates towards the same few guys in these large GPPs with 150 entries and stuff like that. It's going to be tough, especially if you use the majority of your balance. The way to be unique is, not $500 less than, left. We're talking about thousands of dollars, probably. Single entries, you probably want to be $500 to $1,500. Probably maybe even $1,000 to $1,500 would be fine. For large GPPs, probably even more than that to really be unique with all those lineups. So that's something to think about when you're making your, GPP lineups and stuff like that. All right, so Eastlake Golf Course, 7,500-yard par 71 with 4 par 3s, 3 par 5s. The course went through some major renovations last year. Andrew Green, who redid the course, added about 150 yards of length, changed all the greens to Tiff Eagle Bermuda, added and restored a ton of bunkers, added another par 5, changed the fairway grass to a new blend of zoysia. We saw similar changes like Colonial, and comparatively, it's not making too much of a difference. The big thing is, what we've seen, and this is typical before the course change, is the fact that you really do have to hit fairways here. And it's a driver-heavy course. Last year, 86% of all tee shots on non-par 3s were hit with driver. Okay? I mean, it's a driver-heavy event. Now, you don't need to be long. It will help, but you need to hit fairways. Because another issue with this course is the green regulation percentage from the fairway is north of 80%. The green and regulation percentage from the rough is south of 50%, right? So you need to hit fairways. You need to be able to hit your driver off the tee to give you enough length to not make this course extremely difficult. So, I mean, those are going to be pretty important things to look out for. All the par 5s are reachable, but if the prevailing wind shifts, the 600-yard par 5 18th will be tough to reach by shorter hitters. Usually the wind is, at your back on that hole. So it doesn't really quite play the 600 yards that it says. The par 3s, all on the difficult side. All 4 routinely end up as 4 of the 9 most difficult holes on the course. 3 of them play over 200 yards. The 4th is around 195, right? So it's basically 200. 4 of the par 4s, over 450, another 5 between 400 and 450, and 2 under 400. The course was originally designed by Donald Ross, but Reese Jones redesigned the course in 94. The greens are switched from bent grass to Bermuda grass in 2007. Eastlake switched 9s a few years ago, also to make it end with a nice par 5 on 18. Now the last 4 hole stretch is pretty cool. 15th hole, long par 3, Peninsula Green. 16th hole lengthened. They have to deal with blind approach shot. 17th is one of the few holes on the course that actually has a dog leg. That's why you hit them straight with the driver, you're good. It's a lot of straight holes here, and not too many dog legs. But 17, definitely dog leg on there, makes it a little bit more interesting. And of course, the hole ends on a par 5. You saw like a few years ago, Rory had an eagle chance, and then Chappell had the birdie putt on 18 to try and win the event. So there can be drama when it comes out to it. Now, off the tee, golfers are going to see tree line fairways that are fairly narrow in width with large fairway bunkers in play in the landing zones. The rough, not insane, like 2.5, 3 inches, but it is thick. So hitting fairways, like I said earlier, super, super important. The golfers need to hit certain spots on the green, more than likely below the hole, to really have chances at birdies. Like I said, the numbers show this. You got to hit the fairways because 50% under from green and regulation from the rough, 80% over green and regulation from the fairways. If golfers struggle off the tee, a solid short game could definitely be useful. You've seen guys like Justin Thomas, who is not the most accurate driver of the golf ball throughout his whole entire career, have success here, right? Because he's able to get it up and down, and then on the few times he's able to actually hit a fairway, he makes his birdie putts, right? So you could still get away with it. It's a lot harder that way, right? But you can get away with that. Now, the smaller greens here. Okay. Approach shots, golfers see a wide array of green sizes. The larger greens will be multi-tiered, ton of slope. The smaller greens won't be tiered, but they will have a lot of slope from back to front. Some of the small greens will be sloped from back left to front right and vice versa, which makes putting and chipping pretty difficult. Green side bunkers will be in play on most holes, with the majority of them guarding the front of these very fast greens. These Bermuda grass greens are a big defense of the course. They should play firm and fast. Stip meter rating over 12. Golfers are going to need to hit a ton of greens. You're going to have to hit fairways and greens. That's going to be important. The most important part of this. If you do hit fairways, hitting greens is a lot easier. Very similar to what we saw a couple weeks ago in Memphis, right?
Thinking.
Yeah, very similar to what we saw a few weeks ago in Memphis, even with the long iron play, approaches from 200 yards, and stuff like that. Very, very similar.
Yeah. And there's nothing more I can really add there, Kenny. I was going to just say, if you're looking for a very recent comp course, it's Memphis, and I probably going to roll out the same guys that I rolled out for. Even last week, I was kind of leaning later on in the week, once we figured out this course was actually going to play a little harder than expected. I leaned a little more. I ran like a full ball striking model. I think this week, team no putt type situation is definitely up in the air, especially when fucking Scotty's plus 175. You'd think that we in staggered starting stuff. What the hell, Kenny? Anyway.
It's not unreasonable by books. It's like, honestly, it's not. I'm not going to bet it. My whole shit's without Scotty, but the plus 175, I can't hate on the books for giving us that number.
No, yeah. it's, we're getting some decent numbers for elsewhere. Do you have any Play ProphetX plays, Kenny?
No, I haven't looked this week yet. I will. Make sure you go to Play ProphetX. Use promo code FG Degenerates for a bonus where you get 1.5% back on all your winnings. A day that usually takes 3% of your winnings. They only take 1.5% on your first 30 transactions or for the first month. So make sure you go use promo code FG Degenerates out there. Do you have any ProphetX plays?
No, I don't. But I'm just taking a look at what's going on here with the Ryder Cup to be selected. Like, there's a couple yeses out here, but I'm curious about, maybe taking a look at the Euro side, Matt Fitzpatrick. But it's all
got her up minus 180. I just saw as a yes or a no.
Yes.
It was a yes. Okay.
So I'd probably be looking at taking the no. So maybe we'll
someone try for plus 180 for a no.
Yeah. Exactly. That's all you got to do is the other side. So we'll see what happens there. All right. So go check out Play ProphetX. Use code FG Degenerates.
I'll probably have a play. Check my Twitter feed.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. Kenny, let's get into some blood, sweat, and DFS tiers, or do you have some bets for us?
Yeah, I do have some bets. I bet 3 guys this week. All guys who hit a lot of fairways, and the iron plays are pretty good. So first one I'm going to go with. These are all without Scotty and no each ways. I'm just going for the winners this week. So the card, first off, I'm going Tommy. And this is a crazy, insane number. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but this tournament is, whatever, right? It's a 30-man field. If Tommy's going to win one, this could be it, right? He's playing golf. What you see in the FedEx Cup a lot of times is guys playing well throughout, right? And Tommy's had a couple of top 10s going into this event in the FedEx Cup. I'm getting him 10-1. You could roast me, right? But I really do think that this is the type of event that he can win. He's so fucking close in the last twice in the last 2 months, right? We'll see how it goes. But I am not. I just feel like that he doesn't like it. Yeah, I feel like there's a chance. The guy has been hitting a lot of fairways, and he has been, iron game has been really good. And I'm going last 12 rounds for this model. Because like I said, guys usually tend to play well throughout the playoffs. And they get to the East Lake and they tend to keep playing well. We've seen it for years. There's always the Lucas Glovers, the Billy Horschels, those type of guys, And so I think Fleetwood, he's 5th in approach, 4th in tee to green, 2nd in fairways gained in the last 12 rounds. It just seems like he's playing well. We'll see. I think if he does win one, this is so perfect for him. I have to be on it, right? I have to be on it. Sometimes we don't make smart plays. Sometimes we bet with our heart and stupid shit. And
narrative. That's just a narrative-based bet.
That's what I'm doing on this one. Dumb bet, but I'm going to do it. All right. The next guy it's funny. All 3 of these guys are right next to each other in price. Russell Henley. I forget what number I got. These are all on DraftKings this week. Russell Henley, I got 14-1.
Seeing a 12 at some other
place. Yeah. So Russell Henley's 14-1 on DraftKings. Again, iron game has been pretty good here recently, but he's first in fairways gained in the last 12. He's also been really good on long par 3s and long par 4s. And then his iron game over 200 yards, one of the best in the field, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and take Russell Henley 14-1. And then my last guy is going to be a guy who's played this course pretty well throughout his career. It's going to be Victor Hovland 20-1. Again, and then I thought about Decky.
Without Scotty?
Yeah, without Scotty. Victor Hovland 20-1 without Scotty on DraftKings. I don't know if the numbers changed. I made the bet this morning, but I'm going to go ahead with him. Again, the ball striking for him has been really, really strong. He's 2nd in iron play in the last 12 and 10th in fairways gained. So he's still hitting a lot of fairways out there. Again, good on the long par 4s, good with his long irons. Has had success here in the past. So my card is going to be Fleetwood 10-1, all without Scotty.
Henley
14-1, Hovland 20-1. I thought about Decky. I thought about Spawn.
Okay. I will bet JJ Spawn for you then, because I was going to give you 3 names. JJ Spawn, 16-1. I'll go double check that there's a better number out there, maybe. Kenny, why do you like your ball striking? Like, if you think about what
he almost won comp course, Memphis.
Yeah.
It seems like.
Amen. So love that. Cameron Young, driver heavy golf course. This dude's like, you know how hard it is to have a weapon on the PGA Tour off the tee. Like anyone can just gain 3 strokes putting. Anybody, any given day, because it doesn't require like a physical ability to hit the ball 330 yards straight. You just got to get the ball in the hole. You could misread a putt and putt it badly and goes in. Cam Young's driver is an absolute weapon, and that's like an elite trait. And like you mentioned, big time driver golf course. He's been putting great too. So however he gets on the green, we'll see. That's a bad part of his game. But I think 20-1 is a fair number for Cam Young. Jesus, I can't believe I'm doing this again. But with our Scotty market, maybe Cam loses Jim. That's a perfect situation. And then Ben Griffin. Think about a golf course that's perfect for him too. I think the creatine thing is freaking hilarious. He's feeling himself. He's very, very good with the long irons, Kenny. Good driver of the golf ball. Bermuda surfaces. Benny on Bermuda is exactly what I'm looking for. He's finding some form again. I've been betting him a lot, and he's been finishing 12th or 8th all the time, Griffin. So just enough to make Keegan happy. We'll see. But those are my guys. Let's get into some blood, sweat, and DFS tiers, baby.
Yeah, it's going to be tough playing Scotty up top, but shit. I think you sort of have to, at least in a few of your lineups or something, right?
I had 25% people playing Jonathan Vegas last week because I think 17% of the field had Scotty and Vegas together. So trying to avoid that one guy and trying to find the one guy in the 6K range. Can you just do a different deal a little bit this time around? What is happening in the 6K range? If you're going to jam Scotty Scheffler in, who are you taking as your value play? Who's the Johnny Vegas this week?
Bridgman.
$6,100.
Bridgman is $6,100. Again, another guy who hits a lot of fairways out there. And, if it comes down to it and he misses, he's pretty decent around the greens as well. And he can putt. I think Bridgman might be my favorite 6K play.
I think Shane Lowry comes in higher owned than Bridgman in the $6,400 bucket. Think about his ball striking as well. Just long and far, baby. Off we go there. We got the burps together, Kenny. Hour and a half in the show, yeah. So, little reverse situation for you guys in the DFS blood, sweat, and tears. Jacob Bridgman or Shane Lowry could be heavily owned. But if you're playing him in a non-Scotty lineup, you could be unique, right? Because the people that are heavily rostering that dude is only going to be in the Scotty lineups.
Here's the thing. If you're going to be different and you're playing Scotty, you're playing probably 3 6K guys.
Yeah.
You're probably playing 3 6K guys. At least 2 minimum. But probably some people will play 3. The 6K is going to be important if you play Scott.
Very, very important. So where are you going in the top then, Kenny?
When it comes 10K?
Yeah.
Yeah, Scotty is someone I'll play. I think Rory is going to be the lowest owned. And I think Oberg's a fine play. So I have no problem with Oberg. I think Rory would be, if you want to be different, a little bit. His ownership is still going to be inflated, but it's still not going to be as much as I think Oberg or Scheffler surrounding.
Yeah. I think this is a good golf course for Oberg to 10-1. We'll see. If you're playing Scotty Scheffler, you got $7,220 for 5 remaining golfers. So if you click Jacob Bridgman, then you got $7,500 left. So Shane Lowry gets you to 78. You're clicking 2 of the lowest owned price guys, and you're still not even the 8K range for your next 3 guys, which is absurd. So, yeah, maybe his ownership does come down a little bit for Scotty too. I don't know. Rory, geez, Kenny. For my confidence rating on Rory for the Ryder Cup, it's like a 9 or maybe an 8.5. He just doesn't. Since he's won the Masters, it's just been T7 at the Open, where if he had it in the tank, he could have shown us something there. It was like a backdoor T7. I'm scared about Rory now. I just think he's kind of burnt out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, but again, GPPs are different. Sometimes when it comes to these top guys, you don't play form, you play the game theory play.
Yeah. I might go with my first click being Tommy Fleetwood. I never do that, but I think you are perfectly correct, Kenny. This week is the week for him. Like Tommy Fleetwood at $9,900, and you just go balance, baby.
Yeah, I mean, my 3 bets are all here. So you guys know who I like. I like Rory Henley and Hovland. If I had to rank them in the 9K range, maybe Henley first because of ownership. I think he'll be the lowest owned out of the 3. I think. And then I go Fleetwood and then Hovland.
And not playing JT because driver. I agree.
JT will be the lowest owned.
Yes.
In a 9K range, and he has success here. Again, game theory play. That's the way you want to go.
He has had success here, but this is also the year, funnily enough, he's having his best putting performance of his career. Also his worst driving performance. And that's not, he's driven the ball well historically. Now he's not doing it so hard. So we'll see what happens with JT, but I agree with you there. If I'm going to go with anyone, I'll go Tommy Fleetwood, Russell Henley, Victor Hovland. What does that give you? You can just go, then you got 7K for the rest of your 3 guys. That's where you play some pivots off the Scotty guys. That's where you leave Shane Lowry out, play Bridgman, see how it goes, but don't play 2 of them at the same time if you're going chalky. So in the 8s, Kenny, not a lot of guys. Again, kind of funny how we're just going through these things with 4 dudes in a range. Who are you liking in the 8K range?
I like Spawn. He's probably my favorite. Spawn and Burns. Burns has been playing good golf leading up to here. I do like both of them, but I think Spawn's probably my favorite play.
Yeah, I think he's going to be very popular at this price with who's around him as well, like Colin, Cantley, I don't think those 2 guys are going to get some ownership either. So Spawn's going to catch a lot, and Burns, like you mentioned, I think are good plays there, will popular. I like Cameron Young. I might go overboard on him, kind of try and double the field. Maybe we get some ownership numbers on him. But Ben Griffin as well is someone that I'm definitely going to be playing. I think he's just so solid. How are they still pricing this dude at $7,700, dude? It makes no sense. Sam Burns is $8,500. It's $800 difference in price. Sam more expensive. That makes 0 sense to me. You're getting value on Ben Griffin, so grab it while it's still out there. What do you think Bobby Mack does after a disgusting week, Kenny, at $7,400?
I don't know. He doesn't seem like a bounce back guy, but we'll see. He did finish second. I'm trying to remember the Canadian Open. I remember he had a high finish before, I think, prior. But I think in the 7K range, I sort of like Decky as a lower owned guy out there. He's been decent hitting fairways here. He's not horribly bad here recently. His short game can definitely save him a little bit, and his iron play has been great. He's been really good on long par 3s and long par 4s. I think you might be able to get a little bit of a ownership discount. I don't know how popular he's going to be. And so I sort of like him as a sneaky play.
Sneaky. He is going to be sneaky because he's sneaky bad off the tee lately, though. So we'll see what he can do. But again, you paying $2,000 less than what you would for Justin Thomas, right? So you can take that area of the game and hope it figures itself out. I think Corey Connors makes a lot of sense at a course like this. Just $7,100 plodding his way along. I'll be playing Mav as well. Mav is sneaky long, man. He can get it out there and hit that drive. He's been getting.
I feel like he's actually took some off of his driver.
Yeah,
I remember him being longer when he was younger, when no one really knew who he was.
Yeah,
it seems like he's trying to hit more fairways and he's taking a little bit off. It's probably a smart play because he's still not short.
No, he's extremely long. So when he wants to be. So I think he's a great option as well. Harry Hall, going to go for another top 20 finish in a 30-man field. Can he get, this would be his first top 5 as well. 2 British guys breaking through in the most insignificant of ways. So for me to round out the 7s, Ben Griffin, Cam Young, and Maverick McNeely with some Corey Connors involved there too. I think I'm going to be going heavily balanced over here. In the 6s, Kendo, where are you going?
The big question is, who do you think is going to be the lowest owned in the 6K range? I'm looking Badia, Sungjae.
Novak could also be very low owned. He's playing
I think Sungjae might be a play. Like, he just plays this course well. And if he's going to be a low owned option in the 6K range is going to be inflated to hell.
Yeah.
Right. You're going to see more ownership in the 6K range than we see all year. Yeah. Right. Maybe throw him out there. You saw a little life from him a few weeks ago and just hope and pray. I mean, when it comes to an ownership, because you're right. I mean, these ownerships are going to be super inflated. And if you're playing GPPs, I don't know if you want to make your differences here or up top. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because again, everything's going to be super inflated. So it's all going to come down to, how much you leave off the board when it comes to salary cap. And Sungjae at 6,200. I mean, maybe a pivot off, and because the guy, course history wise, he's been amazing here. And just in the 6K range, right? When we normally play GPPs in a normal tournament, right? Not in this elite 30-man field, but a normal tournament, you got a guy at 6,200 who has course history like Sungjae. You're looking at him.
Yeah.
Right? Even if the form isn't that great, you're looking at him, right? Well, I don't think that should change just because he's a bigger name, right? Yeah. He's $6,200, right? He's that price for a reason, right? Mm-hmm. And so if you can find something, then, it's a little bit easier to find reasons to play these guys than a normal tournament, right? But if one of the reasons is, extremely good course history, and he's going to be one of the lower owned guys in the 6K range, I don't see why you would change that strategy just because his name is Sungjae M.
Let's go, baby. Let's play him. I'm down. $6,200. We got the President's Cup hat. We got the CJ Cup hat on. It's Decky Sungjae week, Kenny. That was an awesome match, by the way. I watched them beat Patrick Cantley and Xander Schauffele that day in the President's Cup. Those boys waxed them. It was awesome. All right.
You were doing the sleep before the tournament and before. That was dumb, but it was awesome.
He's awesome.
Because they ended up losing.
He doesn't care. He does not care. Oh, my God. Yeah. Anyway, friends, we're going to get the hell out of here. Enjoy the Tour Championship. Keep us we never did the winner, Kenny, for the comments. So we'll do that the next time we get on with Mike. Whenever we do it on our own, we get a little lost.
2 weeks, Procore. Yeah, we'll be back.
Procore, we'll do that. Beautiful. Sounds good to me. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. You can catch me at the Model Maniac on X. Use code FGD50 for all my Patreon tools for there. Link in the description. Use code FG Degenerates to get yourself 1.5% back at Play ProphetX when signing up for us. Can you get us out of here?
Find me on X at KenOVT. I love my full card. Any live ads. ProphetX plays. Random funny shit. Golf info. Follow me on X. That's how I roll nowadays. You hit me up on X with questions. Do whatever you need. It's the end of the season. It's Scotty's world. We're just living in it. Let's win some motherfucking money. Degen Nation.